morning everybody, and welcome to another trip report. Today we're flying from Venice to Vienna on Austrian Airlines on an E195LR. After taking the bus to the airport, we then checked in for our flight. Check-in was quite easy. We used a dedicated line for the Star Alliance Gold members. After checking in, we quickly cleared security, and then after you clear security, it dumps you out into the duty-free area. After getting a quick look at the departure board, we walked around the terminal a little bit. The nice thing about Venice's airport is that it is actually decently small, but you get great views out of the window. Like here, you could see this Vueling. It was an either A320 or A321. I'm pretty sure that's an A320. But the views of the tarmac and of the runways are pretty fantastic. And then we made our way up to the Venice Marco Polo Lounge, which was actually a very nice lounge to use. So then we entered the Venice Marco Polo Lounge, and my first impressions of the lounge were that it was actually quite nice. You had beautiful views out of the window there of the tarmac and of the runway, and the food selection was actually quite good. They had everything for breakfast from cornetti that you normally have in Italy to different kinds of yogurt. They had a dedicated barista who was making espresso and other coffee-based drinks, and like you could see here, you know, they had fruit, salad, yogurt, like I mentioned previously, and also they later on in the day they were going to have more of a hot food selection, so I think you could get like lasagna and things like that. So you can see they have sandwiches here, and so overall the food options were quite good, much better than at many lounges throughout the US, and I was definitely pleasantly surprised by the offerings that they had at this nice lounge. So after getting a cappuccino, as well as a cornetto, I was pleasantly surprised that at this lounge they offered free water bottles as well as Coca-Cola and other drinks. There are many lounges that don't actually give you water bottles, and you can only get like water, let's say like in a cup there, or fill up a hydro flask. So looking out of the windows here, you can see a Delta 767-300 ER that is actually going to JFK later on, and here's a view of the food that I got. And it was all very good. It was a very nice lounge, like I've been mentioning, and you know, everything tasted great, and the coffee was excellent too. Here's a view of an Air France A320 that was going to Paris Charles de Gaulle pretty soon. And then here's just kind of some other views of the lounge after I walked around a little bit. It was actually quite large. They even had showers and bathrooms and everything, and they kind of had this like office area. And they even had a room filled with plants. So it was a very nice lounge, very, you know, it wasn't just one big room with kind of an area with food and stuff. It was actually quite expansive. So if you're ever in the Venice airport, I highly recommend trying to use this lounge. So after going on the viewing deck, I was able to get a shot of our Austrian Airlines E195LR landing, and then I got a better view of it taxiing to our gate. We then left the lounge and went down to the gate area, and here you can see actually passport control. So if you were leaving the Schengen zone, you would clear passport right here. And then I walked up to the window and I got a view of a nice United Airlines Boeing 777-200ER that was landing here after about roughly an 8-hour and something minute flight from Newark. So another interesting thing about the Venice airport is that they are a quiet airport, similar to Dubai's airport. So our gate was gate 15 for our flight to Vienna, and we had a pretty light load today, so boarding was completed quite quickly. After a short taxi, then we took off from runway 04 right here at Venice Marco Polo Airport. So here's a view of the legroom. It's pretty adequate, definitely for a 50-minute flight to Vienna, but for any longer flights it could get quite tight. So like most European carriers now, they don't actually give you any food or drink without having you to pay, but they did give us these nice chocolates, which were quite good, so it was a nice touch. So after a relatively quick flight, we began our descent, and then we eventually landed on runway 34 here at Vienna's airport. So after a short taxi, we deplaned via stairs at a hard stand here at Vienna International Airport, and we got great views of our aircraft getting off the plane. And then we also got great views from the bus as we were being bused to the terminal. There was a Austrian Airlines Boeing 767 there in the distance, as well as a Boeing 777-200ER there. So overall, always great deplaning via a hard stand because you get a great view of the tarmac and such. That's it here, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to my trip report. I hope you guys will subscribe, like, and comment on my videos. I have many more trip reports coming, and just thank you very much for tuning in.